and battle of a different kind was joined. Page cried, pleaded, tried charm, went into a tumultuous outburst that brought the smooth-working household to a standstill. Edward said no once again. Then, calm and dry-eyed, Page threatened to elope, and Edward knew she would do it. And so tonight she would marry Alex in the lavish wedding she had always intended to have. For Laura, it meant a public appearance. In reality, a public performance. Something that for all the years she'd done it had never become easy. She was famous, a burden she despised. Tonight some would treat her with exaggerated deference. Others, like her girlhood friend Valerie Hood, would barely hide their envy. No use to tell Valerie she was not a woman to be envied. She would never believe it. The sun was up, the day already warm, and a breeze was disturbing the curtains. Outside, Edward's buggy was being brought around to the front porch. It was always ready at least an hour before he left for the newspaper office. From the kitchen came the banging of pots and pans, and the cook's voice singing hosannas to the Lord. Time to face the day. Laura dressed and went downstairs to eat breakfast with her family, the odd mood of the dream shoved to the back of her mind. In another bedroom in the same section of town, Chase Girard woke early too, but not because of disturbing dreams. His dreams had been vague but pleasant, and his alert early waking a result of the discipline of army life. He lit a cigar and smoked for a while, considering his duties on this day, and then slipped out of bed. Immediately, Valerie knew he was gone. She opened her eyes and watched his naked body in the lamplight with sleepy pleasure as he slapped cold water on his face and brushed his hair. It was a body younger men might envy, and she loved it, dreamed about it, and caressed it every time she got the chance. So many men in their 30s, including her own husband, were growing soft around the middle. She guessed Chase was in his early 30s, although he hadn't said. He had told her so little about himself. She did know he had been out west, west meaning to her a place where Indians and nature were an eternal menace, where there was no safety, no comfort, often no food, and certainly no white women, a life she could not imagine. Because she knew so little, she invented stories about him, who he was and what his past might have been, and quickly came to almost believe them. She did not wonder why a career Army officer sworn to defend the United States would leave it at this crisis and come south, for so many Northern Army officers were doing just that. Besides, men's motives, hopes, fears, and inner lives did not interest her. She was inclined to doubt that they had any. In her world, men and women commonly lived different lives, the women docile and pretty. Valerie strived for the appearance of both, running their households, bearing the children, accepting whatever men chose to give them without complaint. As for the men she knew, the pursuit and increase of wealth was their occupation, politics their passion, and usually the two intertwined. They ate hugely, drank hard, gambled much, whored frequently, except that Jason was careful with liquor by Southern standards, and if he was unfaithful he kept it very quiet. She had never wondered about her husband's innermost feelings, and would no more inquire into her lover's motives or deeply held beliefs than she would have asked the Reverend Jacobson whether he really believed in God. It was enough to know that Chase admired and wanted her, and above all was here, at a time in her life when she needed him. She could read anything she wished into his self-possessed gaze, and right now he was looking at her with the smile that devastated. She had first met him a week ago in the lobby of the Spotswood Hotel, where in the basement the young men of Richmond, members of the newly formed Richmond Howitzers, were studying artillery theory. In the weeks since the nation had stumbled into war, young men had been pouring into Richmond, eager to join the Confederate Army and strike a blow for freedom. Training them were West Point officers, some of them Northerners, who had resigned from the U.S. Army and come south. Alex Wyatt, her husband's cousin, had introduced her to one of them, Chase Girard. An old friend and a fine officer, Alex said, who had managed to get out of Washington.